This is Valley News Live at 10.
Thanks for tuning in to Valley News Live. Heart transplants are a serious matter, and one Morehead teen knows all about it.
The Erickson family tells Valley News team's Aaron Walling how a new heart represents a new chance.
Aaron Erickson loves to ride his bike, being active outside and enjoying life. On the outside, he looks like a healthy teenager, but on the inside, he is a walking miracle.
Rely on your doctors. Find a cardiologist that you trust. Find a team that you trust.
Erickson was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome, which caused the pumping chamber to ineffectively pump blood to the body. It had been a long battle for him. Eventually, Erickson had to get a new heart, and on November 7th last year, Aaron got a transplant.
It was surreal. For the first time in his life, he was 100% oxygen. It
was a special moment for the Ericksons when Aaron woke up. And when asked if he could feel his new heart, this was his response. He wrote, "I already did."
Remember how loud this new, all functioning, beautiful gift this new heart was, and just being in awe of holy cow, this happened and it's healthy and it's so strong.
This is what his old heart looked like compared to his new one. The Ericksons say the community's support, like the Battle of the Senses with NDSU, has been crucial for them.
The community has been great. Never expected as much support from the community as we've gotten through this whole journey.
And they can't wait for that snow to clear off so Aaron can get back on his bike.
And just knowing that he's going to be able to go farther and push it harder than he has been before, I'm so excited for. I'm probably more excited for it than what he is.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Aaron's next step is to have more testing done and then hopefully get back on his bike sooner rather than later.
Now we check in with First Alert Storm Team's Jim Gash on what April Fool's joke the weather is playing on us today. Jim, what's it looking like out there?
Well, right now it looks pretty nice for most of us. We have mostly clear skies here in Fargo, just a few clouds moving across the skies here, but we do have some First Alert weather days coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a very large winter storm. Looks like it's shaping up to bear down on us. And what are we expecting with that? Well, it's a very large Colorado low, which is the type of storm that usually gives us our larger accumulation amounts, and it will impact much of our area and in fact the whole region of the upper Midwest. And we could see some pretty difficult travel as well as effects to any newborn livestock and additional weight with even more snow for folks on those roofs. Now, a look at the satellite and radar right now. We see mostly clear skies, a couple areas of some lighter snow showers making their way across the area, but those are pretty light. And a look at those winds blowing out of the south for most of us at about 10 to 20 miles an hour, though some places are a little less, like Devil's Lake there at 6 miles an hour out of the south. And those temperatures still fairly warm, at least for what we've been dealing with recently. Most places are sitting in the 20s still, though Oaks, our cold spot right now, sitting at 14 degrees. And we have some more snow on the way on Sunday, and a lot of the northern valley could pick up about a trace to 1 inch, and places out by the Devil's Lake Basin could see a little bit more. Now, guys, I'll have more information on what we can expect with that Sunday snow as well as that Tuesday and Wednesday winter storm.
All right, Jim, thank you. Federal and local authorities are ramping up security in Manhattan ahead of former President Trump's arraignment, which is expected to take place on Tuesday. Now, the grand jury has voted to indict Trump for more than 24 counts.
There's now word that at least one of them is a felony charge. CBS's Michael George has the latest from New York.
A source familiar with the indictment of Donald J. Trump tells CBS News the former president is being charged with falsifying business records in the first degree, a felony.
Paying hush money is not illegal. Falsifying business records is.
The charge stems from alleged hush money paid to adult film star Stormy Daniels. The indictment, handed down by a New York grand jury, remains sealed until his arraignment, expected on Tuesday, when the former president would surrender to authorities in New York. His attorney says there'll be no plea deal.
This is a case that would not have been brought against another individual in this country if his name wasn't Donald Trump.
CBS News has also learned Trump will not be handcuffed, but is expected to have his mugshot taken just before the arraignment. Security around the Lower Manhattan courthouse is very tight.
a lone wolf who is not bragging on social media that he's going to do this or going to do that. It's the unknown that's always a great concern.
While in Washington, additional barricades and security remain outside the U.S. Capitol. Near Trump's Palm Beach estate, protesters gathered again Saturday. After the arraignment, the former president is expected to return to Florida.
Politicians have also been speaking out. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar says she believes the indictment needs to run its course.
No one is above the law, and this is in the judicial process, and that has to play out.
As of now, and according to Trump's attorney, there will be no plea deal.
Well, at least 26 people have been confirmed dead after a series of tornadoes touched down in multiple states over the last 24 hours. From shopping centers to residential areas, the impact of these storms has been severe. One shopping center in particular in Arkansas had its roof completely ripped off and blown away, leaving debris flying around in the wind. Cars were also damaged and totaled as debris flew around, and the force of the winds even caused some vehicles to flip over.
The city of Minneapolis and the Minnesota Department of Human Rights signed a court-enforceable settlement agreement on Friday in an attempt to revamp policing in the city where George Floyd was murdered by an officer. Friday marked the culmination of about a year's worth of negotiations, and it comes right after the city was sued over many of its practices. This agreement makes a number of changes on how police officers investigate crimes, as well as add additional protocols for searches and arrests. Now, new trainings have also been added to the guidelines for use of force, and local leaders say it's time to own up to the department's past mistakes and make changes for the future.
Well, we just wrapped up some first alert weather days, and we now unfortunately have more on the way, but we're not the only ones seeing that heavy snowfall. More than 8 inches of fresh snow fell in parts of Minneapolis overnight into today. The National Weather Service said conditions could be pleasant on Saturday, but it advised commuters in the area to be aware of snow-covered roads.
And tomorrow on Valley News Live, we hear from businesses who are clearing off roofs before yet another big storm comes through. And as they tell Valley News team's Aaron Walling why people need to get that done sooner than later, be sure to tune in tomorrow evening to hear all about it.
After the break, Jim Gash is going to give us a deeper look at what this week holds.
And here in Fargo tonight, though, we're actually going to see our low temperatures about 2 a.m. before they quickly rise up to 30s, and I'll have details on what we can expect with that temperature rise, as well as a look at our Sunday snow coming up next.